Congress President Sonia Gandhi is currently meeting her party MPs ahead of the crucial all-party meeting that has been called by the government to break the logjam in Parliament. Spelling out the party's position, the Congress President has told her MPs in no uncertain terms that the protests in the House must continue till the BJP ministers facing allegations of corruption resign. Tracking that story for us is my colleague Sunil Prabhu, who now joins us with the very latest. Sunil, clearly there's going to be no let-up in the Congress's offensive, it seems.
That's right, Neha. In fact, Sonia Gandhi making a very cutting speech attacking the Prime Minister directly. Some of the comments that she has made against the Prime Minister are as follows. The champions of Mann ki Baat appears to have retreated to Maun vrat. She goes on to say, the Prime Minister has been very free with his promises, yet he seems totally incapable on delivering on them. On the one hand, he never misses an opportunity to claim the moral high ground on transparency, integrity and accountability. On the other hand, he has been conspicuous by his deafening silence on the blatant transgressions by Sushma Swaraj and two of his chief ministers. She goes on to say that these are the same people who are now giving sermons on parliamentary behavior, and says that they are the ones who advocated disruption as a legitimate tactic when they were in opposition. Yesterday's agitators in both houses suddenly have become today's champions of debate and discussion. Sonia Gandhi, of course, now says that the BJP has already forgotten that they were the authors of what is called the resign and now debate later principles of parliamentary practice, which it had used at least 5 different occasions in the UPA decade, in those 10 years. She goes on to make out a very hard-hitting attack on the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Sonia Gandhi says the BJP has forgotten that during those terrible days of 26/11 Mumbai terror attack, the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, who is now the Prime Minister of this country, arrived in Mumbai on the 28th of November 2008 and chose to be critical of Prime Minister Dr. Mann while the anti-terror operations were underway. And we are now being accused of not showing statesmanship. She goes on to say that, let me make it clear that it was not, we are not being aggressive just to make the BJP's aggression of the past. We have been forced to take this position because of the government's completely brazen attitude. She goes on to say that we are very clear that there can be no productive discussion and no meaningful proceedings as long as those responsible for their wrongdoings remain in office. Our stand is clear and straightforward from day one. There is a mountain of incontrovertible evidence in the public domain for the Prime Minister to require the resignations of the External Affairs Minister and the 2 chief ministers. She then goes on to say that the government is using its numerical strength as a source of arrogance rather than responsibility. First, Parliament is bypassed, a spate of ordinances have carried on and then reissued. Sonia Gandhi, of course, then once again makes an attack on Narendra Modi after its 1 year of completion, saying the Prime Minister has turned out to be a master repackager, a skillful salesman, a sharp headline grabber and a clever news manager. Not a day passes without some UPA program being given a new name or a new spin. We cannot deny the Prime Minister this prerogative, but what is positively deplorable is the shocking cuts in the budgetary allocations for these social sector schemes that not only hijacking of our Yojanas initiatives, but causes most concern. And then, of course, she goes on to explain that the Gujarat model, the Modi model, as they talk about in Gujarat, where the entire WCD ministry, as well as the Women and Child Development and UNICEF, had conducted a rapid survey of child health, which showed a decline, except in Gujarat. Sonia Gandhi then goes on to talk about the Northeast, about agriculture, about MSP, and about the non-governmental organizations,
right,
and the reason for why they have done, and human resource development. And I think the final point I want to leave is that we are fully aware, and this is what she ends with by saying, we are fully aware of our responsibility to support programs and legislations that are in national interest. But the take it or leave it approach of this government and its supreme leader goes against all democratic norms. Grandstanding, arrogant, hypocritical lectures will not work It is a fundamental responsibility of the government to foster an atmosphere conducive to cooperation. So I think this sums up the Sonia Gandhi speech at the CPP.
Undoubtedly a very, very strident position there being adopted by the Congress president, giving a clear cue to her party MPs that these protests must continue unrelentingly till all those ministers in question actually resign. So just how is this logjam going to end is the big question. Is the all-party meeting that's been called by the government at noon this afternoon already a non-starter? That is really the big question. Sunil, thanks very much for bringing us all those details.